Brasil, bem-vindos from the Farmacy Arena in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. For how long?
Yeah, it's over.
Oh my goodness. That now will do it. Welcome to the big show, Mauricio Rufy.
He has now sliced Shore's cap open with the volume of leg kicks. That might be a problem. It's bleeding really bad. Oh, they call the fight.
E daí que vai...
Dizer o que penso dessa vida, preciso de mais desaba.
Oh, goodness. There's the combo.
In combination for...
That's it.
He steamrolled him. He's steamrolling everybody at 185. They better give this dude somebody to fight.
And still undefeated, Anthony
Under a minute to go in its Jose Aldo's world in Rio.
by unanimous decision.
Kia ora koutou katoa, no mai hara mai ki UFC on Sky Koravinda Hunia Tōku Ingoa. Joining me at the table today, co-host and UFC lightweight Dan Hooker and UFC Flyweight Kai Kara-France. Kia ora korua.
Kia ora, thank you for having me.
Good to go. I'm just sitting
We're
back.
on,
I'm just sitting back. I was like, this is the co-host for today.
Yeah. Look, Kai, it's good to see you. It's been a while since you've been at the desk. How have you been?
Yeah, I've been really good, thank you. Also to be back here and, finding my feet back into kind of where we left off. Had a bit of time to reflect on how far we've come in the journey, but also it's allowed me a lot of clarity of what the future holds. So I'm in a good place, balancing home life and work life, and I'm just enjoying just being healthy and being in the gym and really enjoying just back into mahi.
Yeah, getting back to normal. Well, since the last time we spoke, you became a father again, so congratulations. I know Bubba's big now. Was that walking I saw?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, 8 months.
Yeah, so congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
But look, talk to us about training. Are you in training? Are you camping away? Are you looking for opponents? Where do you stand at the moment?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty much hitting up Ash, our manager, and Huge most weeks saying, have we got a date? Have we got an opponent yet? We know the date is going to be in August in Perth, but just waiting on that dance partner. But it's exciting time for the flyweight division because it's wide open. There's no really clear contenders. So I'll take on anyone in that top 5, pretty much anyone in the flyweight division that is coming in with hype, young up-and-comers that are keen to test themselves. And, I've had a bit of a layoff now, so I want to showcase, the best version of myself and all these new things I've been learning. And, I feel like this next fight will definitely be one of my best outings yet to come. So that's a good thing when you take time away and I still got that fire burning. It's not a good thing if you take time away and you still don't want to be there. So, no, we're in a good place. Like I said, I'm just been diversifying my training, kind of doing everything, a bit of running, a bit of S&C, pre-camp stuff, and obviously all the skill-based stuff at the gym at City Kickboxing. So, sparring, doing a lot of rolling at the moment, working on our jits. We've got grading coming up. So Eugene said, are you still a blue belt? And I'm like, yeah, bro, it's been about 10 years at this blue belt. So something that I'm not really, doing jiu-jitsu for any of the belts and stuff. I just thought for MMA. So yeah, it's been good to kind of work with a lot of those guys, kind of fine-tune stuff on the ground. And then striking-wise, just enjoying kind of getting hit again and learning how to react better, filling up the holes that we've had in our game and just kind of getting used to that grind again. So yeah, just really enjoying kind of pushing my body as well as upskilling and everything that we need to. But yeah, we've got a bit of time to build, 15 weeks out till Perth. Slowly but steady, and when it comes to 12 weeks out, then we just hit the ground running.
Yeah, because the funny, like the flyweight division is, it's in a funny spot, whereas we've had obviously the flyweight title on the line in this event. The previous UFC event was another big flyweight fight, main eventing, and Alex Perez was fighting on that one. But yeah, so we've got a lot of activity in the division, but I feel like the door is wide off because we just had the number 9, number 10 in the world fight for the world titles. So I feel like the landscape is wide open. You have said Perth, which is 15 weeks away. Who would you like to see in Perth? Because obviously we had that little heated rivalry with Manel Kate, but he seems to have been squared away.
Quiet. He hasn't said anything.
He's been squared away from Manchester with Makoyev or something like that. So they're busy. Like, who would be your ideal matchup for Perth?
So ideal matchup. There's a few.
I'm teeing it up, but I already know what I want him to say.
There's a few people that I've seen Amir talking a lot about this title fight that just happened in the weekend, saying it was boring. The champ's telling people to stay seated, stay in their seats while I'm doing my post-fight speech. And then I messaged Amir on one of his posts saying, "Sweet bro, if you you bet me once, so if you're that confident, let's run it back in Perth." But no reply either. So I guess I don't have an opponent there. But if not, I feel like Steve would be a great dance partner. Somewhere close to home. He's from Perth, so I know the hometown boy will get a lot of hype. Fans want to see him fight, and he held his own against the champ at the moment, and arguably won that fight. A few decisions. If he did differently, he probably would have had it in the bag. But yeah, he showed a lot of skills that I was impressed. I even messaged him, said, you should be proud of that performance. So there's no animosity when it comes to Anzacs or guys from this side of the world. It's just you got to give props where it's due. But yeah, that's the fight game. You're going to fight everyone, so it's nothing personal. It's all business. So if he wants to do it, then I guess this is the one to book. 15 weeks out, he'll have a bit of time to recover. I know 5 rounds are still going to be take a little bit of wear on your body, but he should be ready to go. And he's number 9, I'm number 4, which has been good that I haven't really lost any momentum in the rankings, even though I haven't been that active. Just goes to show, that I'm right there with the best guys, and to get to the title, you want to fight the guys that just fought for the title, and that's the pathway. So yeah, if he wants to get it, Steve Erceg, let's settle it in Perth, and let's do it for the Anzacs.
I like this idea. Now, would you say that this would be a title contender shot?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. You're only one or two fights away from fighting for the title, because the divisions, there's no clear contenders. So if you go in there and you knock out this guy and make a statement, you'll leapfrog everyone. He leapfrogged everyone and being ranked number 10. So for me, I just got to go out there, do what I do, and back myself, and just hunt for that finish. And that will be enough to kind of at least put me in the conversation. It grinds my gears when I see Amir's name mentioned, and it's like, if you just go watch that fight, and think, oh yeah, he deserves this. It's like, come on, bro, you haven't done anything since that fight either to be in that title picture. So I'm all about just going out and backing it up with your actions. Talk's cheap these days. Just go do it. Show us why you deserve it. That's what I plan on doing. So I know a lot of family will come over for this. A lot of Kiwis in Perth as well. So yeah, big occasion. It'll be a big pay-per-view. It doesn't really matter who they put in front of me. That's just where I'm at now. I just fight the best if you want to be the best. So I'm excited for the challenge. If Steve is ready to do it as well, if it's not too quick of a turnaround, let's do it.
Yeah. He hasn't been in the UFC for very long, not even a year.
Yeah.
I mean, he got his title shot. So I don't think it's too, out the gate to put forward this request.
Yeah.
But what did you make of him in that fight against Pantoja? What did you see like in him as a fighter?
Yeah, so he did really well. Something I was really impressed with was his, I guess, versatility and his tools that he was using. He was, his stand-up was really sharp. Got a really good jab, real snappy. And he was really good at, I guess, nullifying Pantoja's pressure by starting to elbow. Because when you're in that close range, it stops guys from crashing the guard, because when they come in with their head or leading with their head, they're susceptible of getting cut, and that's what happened. 3 or 4 times he got cut clean, and that definitely changed the, I guess, momentum in the round. Had Pantoja more wary of just coming in when he wanted to. Pantoja is sneaky because he doesn't play possum with his cardio. If he's tired, he'll show it, but he just keeps going. So you think you can get him out or like put more pressure on him and get him tired, but he just keeps going. And he's got this weird style where...
A rubbish poker face.
Yeah, a rubbish poker face, yeah.
I play poker with the bloke.
Yeah, exactly. But no, he's Pantoja's really good at what he does. His stand-up isn't this, I guess, slickest, but he's effective. He comes in forward, he walks you down, and then he'll get underneath you, and he's got a really good scramble, probably one of the best in the UFC. And his ground game's probably one of the best as well. So he had Steve in a few positions on his back in full mount. Steve showed he's legit on the ground and was comfortable, didn't freak out, and he got out of those positions pretty easy. Really back and forth scramble in those exchanges, but the stand-up definitely was clear cut for Steve. If he kept it standing and did what he was doing behind his double jab or check hooking, pivoting off and using his range a bit more, he definitely would have ran away with that fight. But a few things what he did in the 5th round especially, he went for a takedown where sometimes when you want to get it back, because he just Pantoja just took him down, it backfired on him where he ended up on the bottom, and it was soaking up a bit of ground control time, and it's hard to win fights when you're on your back. So I know he's going to learn from that experience, being a 5-round title fight. But yeah, he showed a lot of good things, and the one thing that really impressed me was his cardio. His output was really good. He was efficient, and his composure. He wasn't really fazed by anything. But I knew before this fight even happened that he would give Pantoja definitely a hard challenge, because he had no pressure on him. There's no one was expecting anything. No one really knows too much about him. He's been in the UFC for less than a year, 3 fights in the UFC, and he's already fighting for the title. So there's not much to go off. So for him, he passed with flying colours. Even though he didn't win, he definitely got a lot of people excited for his future.
Yeah, exactly. And man, what a way to represent. I know that he's Australian, but what a way to represent MMA and the quality that's coming out of this side of the world. Man, this makes me really excited to think of you and Steve fighting at Perth now, the more that you talk about it. But it's hard because, you interview these guys and you start to not build relationships, but, you like him. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's really nice.
But yeah, that's on the same hand. It doesn't have to be like that, especially within the Anzacs. And I think both guys will get cheered coming out. Both guys working out in Perth. I don't feel like it's going to be like most hometown versus international fighter, whereas one's getting booed and the other one's getting cheered. I feel like I'm like, for me personally, I like Steve as well. I'm just excited for the fight. I feel like stylistically on the feet, that's an incredible fight. I wish we could see it for 5 rounds, but being as though it looks like Israel will be the main event, even 3 rounds, I'm sure it'll be action-packed, high-paced 3 rounds.
And look, you also mentioned that, you haven't been in the octagon for a while, but you have been active. I mean, the work that we're seeing, that's coming out of the Warriors at the moment. How has that experience been for you? No,
it's been really eye-opening, kind of how another code deals with their sport and how professional they are and their approach, not just in the training, but kind of everything, recovery and, being in a rugby or being in an NRL team and that being your job, there's a lot of work that goes behind it. And what I've really admired about this club and these fellas that I train is the sacrifice. These guys travel every week. Every weekend they're in Australia, and the turnaround is so quick where they're pretty much fighting every week, and then they're having to rest, recover, and then travel and do it all again. To get through a whole season, the amount of injury these guys pick up, it's pretty amazing that they just keep turning up and they, whatever works for them. What I've really enjoyed is seeing when they train, it's very catered and customized to, I guess, where they're at. So if they are nursing an injury or they've got something that they've got to mend, it's modified, and they know that, you know, they don't need to be overdoing it. You know, if the session's 15 minutes or 20 minutes, they just need to get that work out of it, and then that's progress. So not like we do. We get FOMO all the time where we just want to do everything and spa and all the hard sessions, but sometimes you need to be pulled back just for the bigger picture. So that's been a cool thing to kind of understand, where it's all team first, and then just making connections as well with these boys. You know, being a part of the club, adding value and being of service, rather than being, you know, the main player in the middle with all their attention. I've enjoyed that part of the sport, but also it fuels a fire in me, because I'm talking about, you know, the mindset of winning and not quitting and all these things, but I want to show it when I go out and do my mahi and my job. So it's a two-way street where I have so much respect for them, but they have that so much respect for myself. And I look at guys that I grew up watching, like Stacey Jones and a few of the other boys that have been around the club for years. The mana that they have when they walk in a room, they don't have to say anything. Everyone just knows. That's what I love, where you're quietly confident, where you just put all your mahi into the gym and on those on the mats and those four walls, and you go out there every weekend and you go show it. So no, it's exciting to see where the club's at. I know we're in a bit of a rough patch at the moment. Just fine-tuning a few things, maybe a few injuries are there, maybe a bit of burnout, but some things that we just got to keep doing, refreshing. If it's the little details, makes for a big difference on the field on game day. Just little things that we need to go back on. That's what we did last year and worked really well for us. Something that I remind the boys, like, wrestling is, you can't hide, because it's honest work. You just got to get and do it, and that's one benefit from coming from a martial arts background. You can run and do weights and get fit at those things, but wrestling has its own little muscle memory, and the only way to do it is to get on the mats and get put under pressure and get through it. So we're really good at that. We just need to be those small reminders of when to apply that, and also be calm in the chaos. That's another thing that we always go back on.
Have there been any players that have stood out for you in terms of maybe their work ethic or perhaps their hidden wrestling talents?
Yeah, there's definitely some freak athletes in there that could easily cross over to fighting. Like, they've just got it, that mongrel strength. Jazz Tavanga, he's one of them that, like, he'll headbutt you and, like, he wants to go as hard as he can. It's like, bro, you've got a game this Saturday, just relax. But and he's always trying to choke people out. I was like, I've never shown you any chokes, and he's always got someone in a headlock. But yeah, he's definitely one to watch. Adam Fanua Blake, you know, he's a freak athlete, like 120 kgs, and he moves like a lightweight. Like, he's so light on his feet, and you try tackle him, and it's like hitting a brick wall. You just can't move him. So there's definitely a few there. I love mixing it up with the boys and getting in there, because it's funny if I'm, like, obviously 3 times smaller than you and I'm getting you down, it's like, bro, come on, let's use your body, do something. But that's been the big learning. It's like, it's all technique. The stuff that we're doing, it's not about using your weight as an advantage. Obviously on the field, that's going to make up for a bigger picture, but yeah, in the gym we just work on technique, obviously trying to stay safe. We don't want anyone getting injured before the games. And just like, that's a skill in itself, body awareness and spatial awareness. If you tackling someone and you're running into someone else, that's where most injuries happen. And on the field, you got to be aware of where you are at all times. So no, it's been cool. Yeah, really good.
Featuring this weekend at UFC Fight Night, the return of Carlos Ulberg, and he joins us now from St. Louis. Kia ora, Carlos. Welcome back to the show.
Kia ora. Kia ora.
Look, mate, how's it been going over there so far? You were just telling us off camera that
Facts with Carlos Ulberg.
Facts with Carlos Ulberg. There's a pretty high crime rate over there as well. Are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm doing all right here. It's not too bad. I'm just over the ditch is supposedly the most dangerous place in the world. So we won't be going for any night walks over there, or only walkabouts. So I'm safe. Me and the team are safe. I'll send Kev over there.
He'll definitely deal with them. Look, talk to us about preparations, mate, ahead of this fight. It's a big one. Alonzo Menafield, ranked number 11 in the light heavyweight division.
Yeah. It's been a interesting camp. Like stop and start. Been changing opponents from Reyes to now Alonzo, and yeah, like I said, it's just been a whole lot of stopping and starting of camps, and now we're days away from the fight, and I'm just trying to get over the jet lag. I'm trying to get used to the sleeping patterns here. I slept last night at about 4 a.m., woke up at 7, so trying to adjust to the times here, and at the same time trying to drop the weight. It's tough dropping weight.
But he's so full of crap, bro. He switches from Big Macs to cheeseburgers on fight week, and he thinks that that's a weight cut. Don't start with me, son.
Oh, it's tough.
So you get your shot at the rankings, mate. You're excited. That's a bit of a streak now. Bunch of knockouts, bunch of bonuses. Now you get your shot at the rankings. You're looking past this. Anyone you want to go? Because that'll put you at number 11. Menafield's currently ranked 11th in the world. This is your first shot against a ranked opponent. Looking forward, is there anyone that you have your eyes on?
Yeah, I guess the focus is obviously with.
Pretty much. Have you written your post-fight speech?
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, that's what you're after, eh? Man, you know, anything can happen in the UFC. If anyone can make it happen, it's the UFC. So when you, especially in the light heavyweight division, when you're in the top rankings, you could fight for the title at any time. So I'm gonna prepare myself, and after this fight, also for anything to happen.
We'll get straight into it. We'll get straight into the finish. How do you feel like you're going to get it? Is it going to be another checkbook?
Man, I want to go for the knockout, but you know, it's and make a statement in the light heavyweight division. That's what you're going to have to do in this organization, really, to make a statement. But we'll go out there and we'll play it by ear.
Your win streak at the moment, you're on, 5 on the trot. So when you talk about wanting to make an impression and anything can happen, you're right up there with every chance of that. Talk to us about your time in the UFC and how you have found it, and now finally getting this chance at a ranked opponent.
Obviously, we've worked most of our life to get to this point where we are. The UFC has been a dream for many years, and to be in this stage is obviously a blessing. So when you get the opportunity, I've taken it like a job now, and I'm learning on the go. I'm trying to get better every day, and I feel like we're getting closer step by step. So the closer I get, the more confident I'll get, and the more you'll start to see me, the real Carlos Ulberg, come out.
Nice. Well, hopefully you can manifest that same energy for this weekend, Carlos, and then we can see you enjoying this location as well. Go well. And we'll all be watching here in Aotearoa.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the real Carlos Ulberg.
Featuring at UFC Fight Night this weekend is Kevin Jousset, and he joins us now. Kia ora, Kevin, and welcome back to the show.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, good, thanks. Look, we were just talking to you about how travel went and everything for where you are now. Talk to us about how it's been going so far being on the ground.
Yeah, it's been good. The short was a bit annoying. We had to stay an extra night in Houston because our flight got cancelled, but we made it eventually to St. Louis with 1 day late, but it's all right. Now we are here in St. Louis. We train, we've done all the check-in with the UFC, and we are ready to go in a few days.
As you can see, your teammate, Dan Hooker, is also here, and he had to get a little time off from training himself to come and have a chat with you as well.
Oh, trying to tell our coach Eugene that I had to leave early because I needed to speak to Kev was not easy. That was not easy. You know what I mean?
I'm sure you was not very happy about it, but it's all right. You will understand.
To me, actually, I didn't even give it a go. I was like, it's not even worth the headache because Huge and Kev argue like cats and dogs. I actually just snuck out today.
Say sorry later.
I saved myself the headache.
For sure, that's a smart move. You know him too well.
Look, Kevin, talk to us a little bit about preparations. This is going to be your third fight in the UFC in less than a year. So what have you been working on for this weekend?
Oh, you know, like at the gym, we always work on everything, obviously. We have some specific techniques we want to use on the game plan on this opponent. So, yeah, let's see how that goes. I'm really looking forward to fight this guy. I know he's quite aggressive, so it's going to give me the opportunity to show different skills that I didn't show in my previous fights. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, he does seem a bit aggressive. He seems a bit aggressive in his interviews as well. I did hear him talk about wanting a KO finish and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So the mind games have begun as well.
Oh, well, I don't know. I don't really listen to his interviews, to be very honest, and I don't really care what he says. And at the end of the day, we all want to do the same thing. So I hope he wants to knock me out because I want to do the same thing. So that's all right.
Just hoping to try and fire you up a bit.
So this is your, as Rav was saying, your third fight in the UFC. And it's not like a lot of other fighters I felt like coming in. I felt like you came into your debut, like no UFC jitters, which we commonly see. For me, it was the same with the first fight, and then I kind of got him in the second fight. But your second fight as well, another very impressive performance. So what do you attribute that to? That you're not getting these UFC jitters? Like it's kind of, it's like you've come into the UFC just mentally prepared. Is it something you've just visualized for a very long period of time?
Yeah, you are right. I think I'm very lucky, and I'm training in a gym where there's obviously so many UFC guys, and I've been very grateful, very lucky to go to some of the UFC shows with you and Easy and all those guys. So it really gave me the chance to be at the back and really see how it works during fight week, all the media and how it is in a very big venue with all those people and stuff. So then I just visualized a lot, and I just, when the day happened, it just felt like it happened many times before in my life. So yeah, the push was not really there when I fought, and hopefully it's going to keep going that way.
And that's a mentality that's oh so important. That takes me back to New York, Kevin, when Dan was actually on that card at Madison Square Garden, and you told me then that you will be in the UFC soon, and it did all come to fruition. So how has it kind of changed things? Obviously, third fight coming into the UFC. Does it change at all, knowing that you prepare for UFC fights now as opposed to, you know, off the UFC card? Like, how have you felt this experience?
No, I wouldn't say it has changed a lot. Like, obviously, more recognitions from people and stuff, but like, for me, it doesn't change anything. I'm still at the gym every day, still trying to get better every day. And getting to the UFC was the first step, but obviously I have much higher goals, and that's just the beginning. But now my goal is to become one of the best in the division. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep winning fights, and hopefully I get there someday. Yeah,
so you've lived in New Zealand now for a few years, so we'll claim you as an Anzac. But we speak a lot on the show about the growth that the UFC or MMA has had in our region, but obviously like the UFC and MMA has had a huge explosion in France as well. Only not so long ago it was illegal, so to be legalized, had a UFC event now. I hear there's a UFC event going back in September. Is that after this fight? Is that something you have your eyes on?
Yeah, 100%. I just think it's gonna be huge for my career to fight back home. You know, like I've never fought MMA in France, so I think fighting in front of my people and having the support from them and just them seeing me fight live and stuff, I think it just can help me a lot. You know, it's just gonna grow my brain in general. So I think it's definitely the next step. I just need to make sure I focus on this guy first, because that's not an easy task. I'm gonna focus on this guy, and 100% afterwards, that would be Paris. That has to be Paris.
And when we talk to, you know, our New Zealand fighters, our Australian fighters, you know, there was always that pride of fighting from where you come from. And although you are, you know, our adopted Anzac, you know, how much do you take on board that responsibility of holding, you know, your French people, you know, close to heart, even though you're based here?
I think they both matters, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, back in France, I've done judo for like 20 plus years, you know what I mean? So that's where my base came from. So that's definitely a big part of my game, and all my striking came from Australia and New Zealand, especially New Zealand. So obviously, like, I'm very grateful from both countries, and they both taught me a lot. So yeah, now I live in New Zealand, and I'm obviously grateful for this part of the world, but I don't forget where I come from, and yeah, I think I owe a lot to both countries.
I'm going to throw this question to Dan. Dan, whenever I've come into CKB, Kevin's actually, working like a demon, whether it be on, on the bags or the pads or whatever. What's your take on Kevin when you're watching him prepare for these UFC fights?
Yeah, strong as an ox. like work ethic. I feel like his skill level has increased so much in such a short period of time can only be due to a work ethic. So work ethic got him in the door, work ethic got him to the UFC. So yeah, head and shoulders one of the hardest workers in the gym.
I appreciate that, especially coming from Dan, like he's definitely a man guy in the gym. So yeah, it's definitely nice to hear that from him, that's for sure.
Nice. Kevin, before we let you go, what kind of performance should we expect to see from you this weekend against Jared Gooden?
Hopefully a great one, at least not the goal. So yeah, hopefully a great performance. I'm definitely excited with this fight. As I said, I think it's going to be a fight where fans can really love it. So yeah, hopefully I put on a big show and a good show, and we come back home with a great win, and hopefully a finish and even a bonus would be good.
Nice. Well, all the very best of luck, and of course we'll all be watching. Go well.
Shabala, good school.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Lads, also big reminder, this Sunday, Mother's Day, do not forget. So from mine, Mum, happy Mother's Day, love you loads.
Obviously, don't forget, if you're doing breakfast in bed or getting the flowers, make sure you're looking after the ones closest to you, mums, your partners, everyone that you love and cherish.